Because as you can see, the Gen Zs are simply not having it. When the BBC dropped Blood Parliament, they didn't just release a documentary. They cracked open a coffin the Kenyan state had hoped to bury quietly. A stitched-together digital requiem of over 5,000 citizen-sourced images. It chronicled the day when protest met powder, and Parliament became a slaughterhouse draped in red, white, black, and blood. Young Kenyans, armed with nothing but indignation and badly printed placards, stormed Parliament to protest a finance bill fatter than a cabinet allowance. They met bullets instead of debate. The footage, too disturbing for prime time, but perfect for authoritarian archives, showed uniformed security forces, firing live rounds into unarmed crowds. University student Eric Shieni caught a bullet to the skull while running away, because apparently retreat is now provocation. Amnesty put the butcher's bill at 65 dead, 89 missing, and thousands arrested. Kenya's democracy, it turns out, comes with a heavy cover charge. Enter William Ruto, the self-styled hustler-in-chief who rode into the State House on promises of slaying corruption, but ended up taxing bread like it's a luxury import. When the youth called his bluff, he sent them a message written in live ammunition. The Kenya Human Rights Commission didn't mince words. The responsibility lies squarely at Ruto's polished leather shoes. But the president, never one to miss a PR opportunity as well, called the protesters criminals and praised the security forces for protecting the sovereignty of Parliament. Because clearly sovereignty now means shooting software engineers and butchers. The documentary title wasn't poetic. It was literal. Officer John Kaboy was caught on video yelling, "Uwa," Swahili for kill, like a budget Tarantino villain moments before bodies hit the tarmac. And in a moment worthy of its own neuro, student journalist Ademba Alance was seen dragging bleeding strangers to safety while waving the Kenyan flag. In Ruto's Kenya, patriotism gets you a bullet and a funeral hashtag. Naturally, the government responded with its usual cocktail of indignation and incompetence. The Nairobi screening was blocked because the truth is dangerous when it's well edited and subtitled. Government mouthpiece Isaac Mwaura called the documentary one-sided, which is rich, coming from an administration that hasn't produced a single conviction out of 60 IPOA probes. In case you're wondering, only 22 of those investigations are complete, because apparently justice is a snail allergic to accountability. Ruto's parliamentary choir sang on coup. MP John Kiari called the BBC's documentary a foreign agenda, because when you have no answers, blame the British. Homa Bay's Peter Kaluma tried to cancel the BBC's license until social media dragged him back into reality. Only Millie or Diambo dared utter something vaguely democratic, warning that gagging the press might, piss off the already bullet-dodging youth. But Kenyans weren't buying the state spin. Hashtag Ruto must go and Blood Parliament trended faster than government tenders disappear. Posts called out the hypocrisy of branding peaceful demonstrations as criminals while shielding trigger-happy state actors behind titles and press conferences. Even Ruto's trip to China was dragged into the fray, with netizens suggesting he timed his absence like a savvy hit-and-run driver. What Blood Parliament really spotlighted was the rage and resilience of a generation with Wi-Fi and no patience. Activists like Hanifa Adan and Boniface Mwangi framed the chaos not as defeat, but as an awakening. The state offered reshuffles and cosmetic reforms like applying lipstick to a corpse. Ed Kayole defiant citizens screened the banned documentary like it was a gospel, because when the government bans the truth, people bootleg it with pride. This wasn't just a violent Tuesday in Nairobi. It was an indictment of a regime allergic to dissent and addicted to force. Legal scholars pointed fingers at Ruto and his holy trinity of impunity, Murkomen, Kahariri, and Kanja, the Interior CS, Defense Chief, and Inspector General, respectively. Their silence was as deafening as their gunfire. As the sun sets on 2025, Ruto faces a legacy more bloodstained than ballot one. He may have withdrawn the finance bill, but the receipts are in, the footage archived, and the ghosts of parliament are still marching. Kenya's youth have declared, if you tax our future, we will invoice your legacy in blood.